Okay, so this is something that has been circling around on the internet for the past 24 hours or so at the time of the recording, and you probably have already seen a couple of videos on it from other people, but I wanted to go ahead and give my 2 cents on the topic. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe as well. And this is going to be just a general type of video because it obviously mainly is going to be touching on Dokkan and the way that Dokkan is succeeding still 7 years out. My goodness, man, such a crazy thing that I didn't really think was going to happen in the first place. I'll explain that in a minute. And then also it touches on Legends and just Bandai as a whole and just the mobile gaming space and basically confirmation that these games really aren't going anywhere. And, you know, from time I do hear, even as recently as the anniversary with Legends, because obviously people were upset, and when people get upset, they say the darndest things, if you will. But recently with that game, I was hearing, yeah, I won't even make it to 7 years or whatever the case is. And, you know, all of this kind of, like I said, it's more impressive with Dokkan, but it confirms that that's not true, right? So let's go ahead and talk about this. If you haven't, like I said, heard anything about it, if you've been reading the title here, celebrating its 7th anniversary, Dokkan Battle exceeds $3.5 billion. Yeah, $1 billion in global revenue. They do talk a little bit about Legends down here. This is why I said there is relevance here in the way that the game is functioning. So what I'll say is, we're going to read through a lot of this. What I'll say in the very jump is, it is awesome to see, man. It's so awesome to see. When this game popped up in my phones, well, in my phone, I had multiple, I guess, but in my main phone, back in 2015, when it came out, I was like, what is this? Because prior to that, I had always wanted a mobile game, and I've always, my whole life, been really big on portability. That's why I built my channel the way I did. I loved my DS when it came out, the big fat DS. I loved it. Loved my Game Boys. I got the original Game Boy Color when that came out. I'm in my late 20s, so you can kind of imagine which one I'm talking about. And then I also got the PSP. I've always loved that, so I always also would play Tenkaichi Tag Team, Supersonic Warriors, Legacy of Goku, all those games, man. So I always wanted a mobile game, and I would have never imagined that when we got this game, it would still be going 7 years later, and not just going, it's going strong. So, man, that's crazy, dude. I just, wow. It's so crazy to see also how time flies. So right here, Sensor Tower, which provides a data analysis platform for mobile games, has released revenue data related to Dokkan. Dokkan Battle has passed $3.5 billion in global revenue. Such an insane number of money. It's not like it's 1 billion, even 2 billion. It's 3.5. My goodness. And together with the Dragon Ball Legends will account for 45% of total revenue in the first half of 2022 at Bandai Namco Entertainment. Now, the thing about this is they're saying that in conjunction with Legends, these two games, Dokkan and Legends, are giving Bandai 45% of their total revenue in the first half of 2022. Now, since this information is from Sensor Tower, and Sensor Tower typically only really deals with mobile platforms, what this means is this doesn't mean like other streams like the console releases or merchandise, whatever other revenue streams Bandai has. But for their mobile titles exclusively, they get basically 50%, if you want to round up, of all of their money from all their games globally, not just on like the global platform, but on the Japanese stores or whatever, worldwide. Half their money basically comes from the Dragon Ball titles. So here's the deal. I know that Superhero is not everybody's favorite movie, which it's coming out this week. If you want to go see it, check it out via my link down below in the description. I got a sponsorship with Regal, and that's really cool to also just get a sponsorship with a movie theater. Anyways, it's not everybody's favorite. Also, a lot of talk about Superhero is that it's probably going to underperform because it's not being promoted, which if you look at some of the numbers, ironically, it's actually set up to perform really well in a global audience. We'll see how it does, though. It could even peak as high as surpassing Broly, which is hilarious to say, given all the criticism of the promotion of the movie. It's just we have to see how things pan out, but that's just a different topic. But with that, with content like the games, other games, right? Potentially getting more releases for other games, stuff like that. Also with the anime rumored to come back sometime next year. I mean, with this type of money coming in, I can't... There's no way both of these games don't last for at least several years. Not another year, several. I would genuinely at this point not be surprised to see Dokkan 5 years from now, at least. I really wouldn't. I would not be surprised at all. Same for Legends. If you told me Legends makes it to its 10th anniversary, I wouldn't be surprised. Not at all, because look at how much money this is generating. This is just Dokkan Battle that did 3.5 billion in global revenue. By the way, this isn't just this year. They didn't get 3.5 billion this year. That's just a, since the game is released type of thing. This is not surprised. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. This is crazy. The numbers are crazy, right? So the series is coming strong. It's coming back. The fact that these games, this should tell you everything you need to know. The fact that the series had really gave these games a massive start, mainly Dokkan, because it was really going whenever Super was going. I think Legends popped up right when Super was about to end or something like that. Anyways, the fact is that, Dokkan benefited hugely from the anime's return. They both popped up in 2015, right? So they benefited hugely from each other. And then Dokkan really got to continue on that wave even after the anime ended, and it still continued on strong, consistently hitting top 1 in sales, things like that. That should tell you that things aren't going to change when the anime comes back for the worse. They'll get better. Bandai will get more money, right? And also on that topic, it's interesting, really. Now that I think about it, Legends gets a lot of criticism in relation to Dokkan because of different things. But if you like it, you don't like it, whatever the case is, what your flavor is, it doesn't really matter. But one thing I will say is Legends actually really, they benefited from Broly, but Legends hasn't had access to the IP boost that Dokkan got. Now that I think about it, you got to think about it. Stuff would pop up in the anime, and the very next day, it would be on Dokkan Battle. Can you imagine how big of a boost that is? Seriously. Promotion, all that. That's a huge boost, right? Legends never really got that. I don't know if Super was ever running. I have to go back and look at the dates. That's just crazy to think about. Maybe it was the Tournament of Power arc when Legends popped up. I don't know. Anyways. Dokkan Battle surpassed 3.5 billion in global revenue combined with Legends to account for 45% of the total revenue in the first half of 2022. The total worldwide revenue has surpassed 3.5 billion. Bandai, this almost reads like that's just this year, but there are other articles that have, chronicled the milestones of Dokkan Battle. Since its launch, it surpassed 3 billion in lifetime sales as recently as a year ago. Almost a year ago to the day, in fact, August 23rd of last year. An article came out since its release in 2015. It surpassed 3 billion. And then prior to that, 20 months after hitting 2 billion in sales in November of 2019. So from November 2019 all the way through to August 2021, they got another $1 billion. Jesus Christ, man. This is so much money. And Dokkan's not even number 1 on this list. Look at Monster Strike and Puzzles and Dragons. Oh my god. My goodness. Okay, so yeah. Dokkan Battle was released in Japan on 2015 of January and February 2015 for iOS. Released in July for global. Will celebrate its 7th anniversary in 2022. This work, which allows you to relive the world of Dragon Ball faithfully. Okay, I'm not going to... Okay, they're talking about just the game itself. According to data from Sensor Tower's store intelligence, from the release of Dokkan to July 2022, cumulative global revenue has exceeded 3.5 billion and total downloads have surpassed 76 million. Okay, so yeah. Can I blow this up? No, it's not really going to get any bigger. But they're showing you on a... I can't tell what these numbers are on the side, but the way that the game has grown over all of its years. Look at the revenue spike. It just goes up and up and up. This game, and this is 2022. Look at this. Look at this. Like I said a minute ago, this should tell you that this game isn't going anywhere because what is this, 2018 right here? The anime ended what, 2018, 2019? Right, let's just say it ended 2019. Look at this peak. It's gone up tremendously without the anime, without the signal boost from that. I believe the anime ended in 18 and Broly came out in 18 too. I gotta go look at the dates, bro. I haven't looked at that in a while. Anyways, wow. Just wow. Okay. All right, so all that money, 76 million downloads as well. Of these, the Japanese market accounted for 57% of the total revenue and 16.4% of the total number of downloads. The next largest market in Japan is in the United States with 25% of revenue and 15%. So they're talking about where the money's coming from. 57% comes from the Japanese market. Now, I don't believe that they'd have a way to tell like players like me or Truth or whoever that's not in Japan and is playing the Japanese version, I don't believe they'd have a way to tell that. So that money would go into, you know, facilitating the Japanese number being higher. But what I would say is, just in general, Dokkan is immensely popular worldwide, but as you can see here, it's significantly more popular between that version of the game and the global release. Now, I think that some of this just has to do with gacha culture in Japan, things like that, but also the stagnation, not really stagnation, but the separation of content of releases. One Piece Treasure Cruise did this thing over the last like 5 months or whatever, where they got caught up with the Japanese version and their global release. And Dokkan, I kid you not, has gotten a stone's throw apart, at least when I was playing consistently, from being super duper close and being able to just say, okay, let's just slow down JP for like a month and they'll be on the same timeline with pretty much everything. Maybe not everything literally, but pretty much to where it's okay. And they, from there, just say, no, we're not going to do that. They'll slow down the global version, ramp up the Japanese version, and create that big gap again. They had been so close at least like 5 or 6 times at the time I was playing consistently on the channel for all those years. And they never did it. But another Bandai game did do it, and I feel like that would have helped tremendously, and that might even out these numbers just a little bit. But I guess they just really don't care about that and don't have any plans to do so. But nonetheless, I mean, the downloads are basically even between Japan and the US. 2 Dragon Ball titles account for 45%. So let's talk about Legends a little bit here. Bandai introduced Legends, which released in May 2018. This work is an action battle game, blah, blah, blah. According to Sensor Tower data, Legends has generated more than $930 million in total revenue from its global release to July 2022, with more than 51 million total downloads, making it another popular title. I know there is, of these, Japan accounted for 40% of the total revenue and 9% of the downloads. All right, so now we're talking about Legends numbers. So we talked a lot about the billions and billions that Dokkan has got. Legends is not on that same pace. They're not even close to being on that same pace, right? Because Legends is 4 years old and they still haven't got 1 billion, right? But they could, I mean, maybe with the anime back, they ramp up a bit, get 50% more increase. Maybe things speed up a bit, but they still, it would be kind of tough to get to the same pace as Dokkan. I just don't see it happening. It'd be really, really tough. But still, almost $1 billion is just a damn good amount of money. That is a lot of money. And like I said, some of the factors that have stagnated Legends, and then also you got to consider this too, is that like when it comes to money, I think Dokkan is the way to go in most cases for a lot of players, because of the fact that Dokkan is more of a casual game, and it would allow for players that work and things like that to not have to put their all and attention-wise and stuff like that into that game, because it's not an action game like Legends is that requires those things. So you can actually target a higher demographic of paying players or people with money or jobs or things like that. So it's easier to spend there. But I think on average, Legends is actually a little bit cheaper than Dokkan, and that was a big selling point, which also wouldn't help how much money they're making anyway. If Legends is able, or if Dokkan is able to attract better people to spend money because they have more money and also charge good prices, you know, it's pretty easy to see why they would generate a lot more money in comparison. Now, speaking of comparison, I've never liked the comparisons, because what this is a graph of Bandai, right? This is a graph of Bandai. Shout out to One Piece Treasure Cruise, by the way, because that game has to be getting most of the revenue from the Japanese audience. This is Bandai here. So what I mean is this is all one company. They're not in competition. Legends is almost, what? They're almost 15%, while Dokkan is at 30%. Legends is like 14.8, Dokkan's at 30.1 or whatever that number is. I can't really see it. So literally half of the money this year, just in 2022, from Legends. So they're not in competition though. This is all going to the same pockets. Why would you think that they would kill off Legends, for example? Which, by the way, if you're comparing Legends' performance to Dokkan, that's fine. But like I said, they're not in competition like that. They're together, right? Bandai's pocketing all this money. But you also have to compare Legends' performance to other games. Legends doesn't get to the chance to hit #1 all that often. They only do it on big celebrations. Dokkan obviously has always been more consistent about it on just random banners, but Legends in relation to a lot of the market is still performing extremely well. And typically for a game to last and keep on getting updates, obviously it has to be worthwhile to continue updating and making in terms of revenue. And if the game is anywhere near the top 10, 15, 20 on global charts, like Legends pretty much always is, it's not going anywhere. It's just not. Or genre-based charts, it's not going anywhere. So again, years from now, when it's made $3 billion in 5 years, it'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? And if you know what, the funny thing is, if they decide to close both these games, the thing is, like, they'll have pocketed billions of dollars. It's insane. My God. And that also is why I've been saying of late that I wouldn't be surprised if we get a third game, because if you're Bandai, if you look at this, why wouldn't you? Seriously, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you make a third game? Like, what is stopping you? For what reason? They're obviously going to milk this cow. There's going to be another game popping up in the next year or two. Watch. It's just because it just makes the most sense, right? You could say Dokkan loses 5% of what they got, which is 30%. They go down to 25. Legends maintains where it's at. Maybe they go up a little bit. And then you slide in another Dragon Ball Game 3, and they're making 20% revenue. And all of a sudden, you get crazy sales from another stream as well. You're making more cumulatively if you're Bandai. And Dokkan, I said, goes down. Maybe they maintain. Who knows, right? But really, that... all of their money is coming from Dragon Ball right now, and it will get worse in terms of the other titles they have. Like, you know, I think Treasure Cruise will be fine, but there's not a lot of other titles Bandai really has. They've got Slime, they've got some other ones like SAO. There actually is another SAO popping up. The SAO games have been very successful at hanging around for a long time. Another one's popping up. Another one came out like 2 years ago. So like, there's not a lot that Bandai really has, but the Dragon Ball games are killing it. So they talk a little bit more about what is coming here. Also, data does not provide third-party Android market data and only aggregates first-time downloads for app stores. Okay, they're talking about the number of downloads, but basically saying like rerolls aren't counted. Different versions. Okay. Duplicate downloads made by the same account on other devices or the same device are not counted. Yeah, they're not really counting rerolls and stuff like that. If you have to delete the app to reroll for whatever reason. Yeah, wow. I believe that's pretty much everything that we have here. Yeah, it's kind of the same info because they kind of just talked about what Sensor Tower talked about. But really, I just wanted to kind of end there. And this has been an upward trajectory for a long time. And I'm so proud of Dokkan. I really am. I'm proud of Legends too, but Dokkan has a special place in my heart because obviously it's where it all started in terms of the mobile game. It's not where my channel started. It's not even close to where my channel started. But it is where my channel started to pop off, and it is where I got a lot of my friends. Back when I started this channel, the only YouTubers that were out was Ichigo and Ranma. That was it. You maybe know Ichigo, but you probably didn't hear of Ranma that much. But that was it. That's it. And it's just crazy to see like how it's expanded on the platform in terms of YouTube and videos, and the way that, you know, this game has just been able to thrive. I love it. I love it so much. And also it has a special place in my heart for being one of the people that's pioneered a lot of this stuff. Like, there are videos people do on a daily basis that were initially, and I'm not trying to take credit or anything like that, but they were initially like something I created. And that always gives me joy, right? The theme teams or showcases or things like that. I really, even if I didn't create some of this stuff, I popularized them in ways. And this game holds a special place in my heart, and it's awesome to see this continue on, man. It really is, man. It really is cool. So I'm happy for this. And if you guys play these games, feel secure that eventually they'll close. Eventually. Dokkan ain't making it to 40 years, right? But for now, for the time being, for the immediate future, things are fine. So have fun. Thank you all for tuning in, and have an awesome day.